For our first story, we have Ike, 20 female, was uninvited from a wedding that I spent $500 to go. My boyfriend, 23 male, is a groomsman. Where do I go from here? Ike, 20 female, was supposed to attend the wedding of my friend and boyfriend's 23 male best friend in a few days. However, I just found out that I have been uninvited from the wedding entirely. The wedding is across the country and the plane tickets for it were over $500 and non-refundable. My parents bought the tickets as my Christmas gift since I couldn't afford them, but it was a lot of money even for them. My boyfriend is a groomsman at this wedding to a guy who he's been best friends with and we have been in a friend group with for years. When my boyfriend asked him what was happening, he said he didn't know they were going to run out of space so they had to get rid of all the plus ones, and that I was never actually formally invited, but just as a plus one. On top of this, both of the people getting married unadded me on all social media. When my boyfriend asked why, he responded that I had disrespected my boyfriend a lot, disrespected his fiancée by talking crap about her to his groom's sister and then also disrespected his sister. The conversation in which he's referring to was one his sister brought up to me, my boyfriend and her roommate one day. Everything said was agreed on by everyone in the four-way conversation. Disrespecting his sister? I have no idea where this came from. For context, his sister liked my boyfriend and repeatedly for months this year flirted with and tried to get close to him in front of me. She started being a massive cold bitch to me out of nowhere, which I later learned was when he cut her off. As far as disrespecting my boyfriend goes, I am not perfect and have made mistakes. The thing he is talking ab specifically was a TikTok I had posted about a celebrity guy being good looking even though people like to pretend he's not because of his personality, a conversation I had had with my boyfriend previously. I deleted the TikTok and apologized. However, my boyfriend acted single and flirted with groom's sister before I could get back to school as my luggage was lost in another country for a few months at the beginning of last semester, coming off of a hard long-distance summer of not much communication and not seeing each other. I was out of the country for most of it. Nothing ever happened and he never felt anything for her, but it messed me up for a long time. So all of this started from the sister lying to the groom. My boyfriend has said he will say something, but not because I want to. I'm doing it for you. That was pretty much my last straw, as I firmly believe my person would not only stand up for me but fully take my side and not go to the wedding. I told my boyfriend this and he said he can't just not go because he's a groomsman, but if we were engaged or married it would be different. We have been dating for over a year. My best friend who knows all these people and was also friends with all of them previous to all of this is out of the country for a year, but I told her what happened. She is furious and unfollowed all of them, and thinks I even need to break up with my boyfriend. The issue is, the tickets for the wedding are also where my boyfriend's family lives and I was going to stay and visit with them for a few days, and then he has tickets to come visit my family right after. I don't know what to do. I am beyond hurt, I am crushed and defeated. I wanted nothing more than to have a nice holiday with my family and the man I loved, but I don't know what to do anymore, and it has been destroying me. It is important to note that I love my boyfriend and he loves me very much. Aside from his sleep schedule, our relationship is perfect and he does a lot for me. He is very kind and non-confrontational, so this whole situation is driving him insane. I am not really sure what to do. Do I proceed forward and try and enjoy the holidays, not going to the wedding, or do I call everything off and waste all of the money? I am in a tough spot and unsure what to do. Edit to add. Here's some additional info since I have heard a lot of incorrect assumptions in the comments. My initial post was brief because I didn't want it to be too much info or long, but I am now realizing that was a mistake. I think some clarification is needed in respect to the sister thing. We were long distance over the summer when we were home from university. He lives nowhere near the sister. He was only at school 2 weeks before me, and in that time she was heavily flirting with him, which he did not realize or shut down. Over the summer I didn't communicate with him much because I had a lot of things happen in my life, including one of my best friends take her own life. Because of this I was very distant and cold and didn't even call him much. This left him worried I was going to break up with him due to how distant I was being. Not shutting the sister down to me was single behavior, and he apologized and made up for it and cut her off before I even brought anything up or asked, but he has been friends with her for a while, so it took him a while to notice. Nobody else knows about this, and sister has since moved on to obsessing over like 10 different guys. She just holds a grudge and decided to slander my name. Additionally, we are all religious, and there would be no hooking up involved. The groom would also never want his sister to date my boyfriend as he lost his virginity to me, and that is highly looked down upon in religious circles, so the assumption they're trying to set them up isn't quite right. I only shared this info to explain what groom was talking about and why sister was salty. This was also all well before the TikTok fiasco, which the groom was the one who was super mad as my boyfriend doesn't even have TikTok, and told my boyfriend to dump me over. As far as being uninvited, it was the groom's father who sent out the email uninviting all +1s unbeknownst to the groom himself, and it was due to a large number of the bride's family being there in a small venue that wasn't planned for. And as far as the people saying how can I say he loves me, I am disabled. I had a severe sports brain injury that put me in a coma and I had to relearn how to walk. It has left me legally blind and with some other things like an inability to read without technological assistance, and no balance resulting in the fact I cannot drive or even ride a bike. My boyfriend takes very good care of me, but I cannot go into great detail about all of this. Just know that he has taken care of and done more for me than anyone else in my life aside from my parents and best friend. This friend getting married was a friend of both of ours until all of this happened and even introduced me and my boyfriend. All of this is extremely out of character and has left everyone shocked. Even the groom's cousin and best man is on my side. The bride herself is likely behind all of this as she always would go out of her way to be a jerk to me and my best friend, although we were nothing but nice to her. Nobody likes the bride, including the groom's family. I hope this adds a little bit of context, and to the people saying they hate me because I seem to love drama. I hate the drama more than any of you. It came out of nowhere and I am unsure of how to proceed, which is why I wrote in. I am sorry if it's confusing, I cannot see to edit well and I'm listening to everything. I will update in 48 hours or more as per sub rules. Thanks again to those who gave real advice. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Can you exchange the tickets for airline credit to use another time? Usually airlines allow this." Our second commenter says, "Everyone in your story sounds terrible. Just break up with your boyfriend and never talk to any of these people again." Our third commenter says, "Your boyfriend doesn't like or respect you enough to stand up for you unequivocally. His friends don't like you. Your friends don't seem to like him and his friends. Why, exactly, would you stay in a relationship that constantly puts you around people who hate you?" For our second story, we have my 33 female husband, 34 female pregnant mistress, 28 female, begged me to leave him and I refused. Where do I go from here? Google sent me here because I need to let this out. I don't even know what she qualifies as, if mistress is fitting or not. It was a drunken one-night mistake, my husband's words. They run in the same work circles and field but don't work together. My husband was dropped off at our house 2 months ago drunk off his ass after a company event. He was crying and out of it, blabbering about nonsensical things. I tried sobering him up, but his legs couldn't even support him, and I couldn't drag him to the couch, so he slept it off on the ground and the next day he confessed to everything. He was crying and I've only seen him cry a handful of times in all our years of marriage, and he said that everything was foggy, and he doesn't remember much but that he slept with her. I won't type in my reaction because I can only describe it as violent. Not physically, but I unloaded on him and sobbed and screamed and then lied to our kids after it woke them up. We tested him for drugs because what he was describing, foggy memory, didn't drink that much etc., was assault and as awful as it is. I felt a little bit of relief that it might have been and that he hadn't willingly cheated on me, but there was no trace of drugs in his system. The past 2 months have been brutal on us, but we're slowly working on us in therapy. Some may call it weak that I didn't divorce him, but I just can't bring myself to do it, and believe me, I thought about it a lot. He hadn't had contact with her since that night up until she got his number and sent him a picture of her blood work a few days ago. She's pregnant and is asking him to meet up. That sent us into another spiral, but we agreed that I would meet her because there's an innocent life on the line. I wish I can say she's awful and I hate myself for this, but under different circumstances, her and I would have been good friends. She seemed ashamed and honestly looked lost. She's not that much younger than my husband and I. We're 33 and 34 and she's 28, but grew up sheltered by her religious parents, Not that it's an excuse, but from what she said. I asked her what she was going to do with the baby and she got quiet. I don't know what I thought she was going to say, but it certainly wasn't her asking me to leave him. She said that once her BF finds out he'll leave her and her parents will cut her off for having a bastard baby and that she can't do it on her own and that I'll get a nice settlement and start fresh. I laughed. God help me, but I laughed harder than I thought I could while she started crying. These past 2 months have been testing my sanity, and I don't have that much left in me. Once I calmed down, I told her that I will not leave him. If she wants to have the baby, we'll figure out support and custody, but that was about it. She started crying harder in the middle of the cafe, but hell, we were already getting looks from my unhinged laughing and begged me to leave him. I told her I won't. My husband and I have been together since I was 14 and he was 15. We stuck together through high school, got engaged and married throughout our BA and masters, have 2 beautiful kids, and we're trying for more, and I won't throw that all away just because she spread her legs and he fucked her once. He's all I've ever known. I don't fucking remember a life without him in it. And let's say I agreed to leave him, then what? He'll marry her and she'll take over my life and be in my kids' lives raising them half of the time? I didn't let her get a word in and I was crying by the time I was done with my rant, and I left her there, she sobbing too. My husband and I already talked with a lawyer for a paternity test and we're waiting on that before we do anything else. My husband sent her a text with my contact information and told her all communications are to be through me before he blocked her number. I didn't ask him to do that, but he's trying. I just don't know where to go from here if it does turn out to be his. That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, I'd wait for the paternity test, especially since she has a boyfriend. She's got a lot of nerve. You're a better woman than I am. Good luck, X. Our second commenter says, oh dear God. Why does she think it's your husband's and not her BF's? This is insanity, start to finish. And you are doing your husband's dirty work? Your lawyer isn't handling contact with her? Our third commenter says, WTF, she has a BF but asked you to leave your husband? Honestly, the fact that she asked you to leave him makes me wonder if she planned this? Like, did she want your husband? For our last story, we have How'd I, 23 female, heal after my boyfriend, 27 male, tricked me into a threesome with the girl he was cheating on me with, 28 female. My boyfriend and I have dated for a little over a year. I met this girl on a buy and sell group on Facebook after she bought a few things from me on several different occasions. We started becoming more casual with each other and I thought we were friends. We started hanging out and one drunken night we ended up having a threesome. This happened again afterwards on 3 other occasions before I decided I didn't want it to continue because I was starting to feel weird about it. I am naturally subby, but I was really starting to feel like the third wheel and just had a weird feeling about it, so I stopped it. I contacted her letting her know we could stay friends, but I didn't want to continue anything beyond that, and she responded by sending me pictures of them and screenshots of their conversations and pictures and videos that I didn't know were taken during our threesomes. The conversations they were having about me were absolutely vile, but he's basically been cheating on me for about 4 months now with her, and they schemed the whole thing to essentially trick me into joining them unknowingly. We have obviously broken up since, but he is now with her, and even though she has him now, she is acting unhinged. She calls me from all different random numbers while they are having sex and will text me things about how stupid I must feel now. And I do feel stupid, and humiliated and embarrassed. I feel absolutely disgusted that I let this girl into our bedroom and they were seeing each other behind my back the entire time. I'm actually nauseous thinking about all of it, and she's sending me image and videos from a camera in her room that I didn't know was there, and I just don't know what to do or how to move on from this and just make it stop. I considered calling the police, but I feel like that would be super embarrassing and I don't want to have to explain the whole story like that. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, change your number if needed. You have nothing to feel embarrassed about. If anything, they are embarrassing. I just can't fathom fully grown adults acting like this. It's disgusting and embarrassing. I didn't quite understand the last line. Does she have a video of you and she sends it to you? Or it's videos of her having sex and such? If it's the former, you can absolutely report that to the police. If it's the latter, you can still try reporting it. It isn't ridiculous or anything. It is actually harassment, I think. Imagine if the roles are reversed. A guy just constantly sending sexual contents and calling constantly just to do whatever they were trying to do. As for the part on how to move on, start by forgiving yourself. None of it was your fault, you were deceived. They are absolutely at fault here and acted disgusting. Our second commenter says, you need to contact the police and find a lawyer. She can't secretly record and distribute those images. She has to be charged. Our third commenter says, so she's actually obsessed with you and not the boyfriend. Wonder if he knows he's the consolation prize? Tell her to stop contacting you because you're not interested in her and then change your number. I know it sucks, but you lost two weirdos from your life and that's a win. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.